Hi, this is Andy Huddleston. This is one of three different stories. I might do four. But this is one of three different Christmas stories that I wanted to share with so many of our friends and financial supporters and church members and just whoever. I just want to just give God the glory of some wonderful miracles He's done for our family as we've served Him in Youth with a Mission. But this particular story happened about 5 years ago. We had already moved to Hawaii to work with University of Nations Youth with a Mission. But this particular year, our daughter Corey wanted to come from Northwest Washington State, kind of get out of the rain, see Mom, show off the grandkids, and just come out to Hawaii. So they did. So Corey and Trevor and their two children jumped on a plane in November and came out to Hawaii. Just planning a couple weeks of just having fun in the sun and just visiting and getting out of some of that rain. Well, my two youngest sons, Nick and Joey, and the youngest of 7, were still home doing homeschool on the internet, and they were about to finish up their last year, and they were all excited about Corey and Trevor coming. They had made all these plans, and I thought, that's great. Now I have a good time. Well, one of the events they had planned was to go out to a little local spot and jump off a cliff into the ocean. Well, I hadn't been out there. I wasn't concerned about it too much. They'd been there several times and it seemed like a big thrill, but they wanted to take Corey. So sure enough, one afternoon, the big plan, we're going to go take Corey. We're going to jump off what was called the end of the world. So off they went. Well, Trevor and I were just hanging out watching the kids. And then that terrible phone call came. Corey had jumped off the cliff and hit the water wrong. Well, Nick, he was down in the ocean just in case something happened. And Corey said, something has happened. And so they pulled her and she crawled out on the bank and said, Nick, call 911. Call 911. Something has happened. So 911 was called. The paramedics came, strapped Corey to a board, as they do, took her to the hospital. About 5 hours later, we heard the sad story. Corey had broken her back. She had hit the water wrong, and that she was en air vac route to Honolulu, Hawaii, to have surgery on her spine. Well, we were shocked. We went into prayer. I sent out a prayer on the internet to a network of friends, saying, please pray. There's a possibility that Corey could be paralyzed. And who knows? It was going to take a miracle for Corey to be okay. The next morning, we got the call. The surgery went well. They had put an 8-inch titanium rod in her spine and put it together with 8 screws and actually grafted bone off her hip on the caps of the screws. I was going to have to wait for the healing. Well, about 10 days later, she was able to fly to Kona to live with us, and she'd have to be immobile for 2 months. Well, little Allison was just a little 2-month-old baby. She could not even hold Allison for several weeks until that had began to heal. Well, we as a family, we were just so glad she wasn't going to be paralyzed. She could walk. And we thought, God is some way going to turn this around for good. So we pulled together. And sure enough, they were here for Christmas that year. So Christmas morning, Corey with a big hard plastic strap-on back brace came up the steps, sat down in the living room at the Christmas with the Christmas tree and the children. It was a pretty sober Christmas that year, but we took that time, and as a family, we decided to give thanks that there was not a wheelchair in the living room that Christmas morning. That particular Christmas, Our gift, the present to us, was the healing power of Jesus to heal Corey's back. Corey now is totally well, very active. Her local doctor said, continue having children, build your family. And sure enough, Corey's going to have her third and our ninth grandchild. That was a special morning. It was the Christmas that I call Christmas without the wheelchair. You know, if you have a special prayer this Christmas season, don't give up. Keep praying, asking, expecting. God is in the business of answering prayer. He's answered many of our prayers and given us some great Christmas stories as a family as we've served in ministry. But it takes faith. That's what moves God's hand, is you expecting, you believing. Faith. Have faith in God. If you would like to read some more great stories about God's faithfulness in our family, I wrote a book a few years back called White Knuckle Faith. It's actually been translated now into Spanish. Fe al Extremo. You can go on to Amazon.com and order that book. Or you can even go on our website, missionenablersinternational.org. That's Mission Enablers, INTL.org. Order a book. Join us as we continue serving the Lord, expanding the gospel around the world, and standing behind, enabling some of the unsung heroes that's gone to serve the nations. God bless you. Have a great Christmas.